lovely people, we're at Mallory Park today. I'm going to have the opportunity, which is a bit of a privilege really, to talk to the owner, Mr. Stuart Hicken. Now, Mr. Stuart Hicken is not a name that perhaps springs to mind immediately with you lovely people, but in the racing circuit, he's quite something. We'll talk to him about that. There are things I'm going to ask him about. His racing career in the 70s, when he was racing at the Isle of Man and various other places, and indeed the teams that he then took on. We'll have a wander down to have a look at that. He had some of the best teams and the longest running motorcycle teams in the industry, so we'll find out a bit more of that. Most of all today, I'm here to look at his collection. He has a beautiful collection of bikes and leathers and on all sorts of other bits and pieces. Might be interesting to you, I hope so. We're going to have a little chat and see where we go with that. I'm looking forward to meeting him and finding out some questions that you would want answering. We'll see you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm just going to have a quick peruse on some of these vehicles. Now, Stuart's very good with me, and he's going to go through in a moment what some of these items are, because, let's be fair, there's some very, very special items in here. I will give perhaps a bit more in-depth pictures on them at some point. I don't know how much Stuart's going to allow me to intrude in his life today. But we're going to have a little wander through and have a look at these bikes, and Stuart will give me a bit of a voiceover. All those race leathers down the bottom, of course, Stuart has already told me. The racing riders that used to be part of the team had to give them up at the end, and they have signed them. So there's an awful lot of lovely stuff up there that is signed all by great racing riders. So we'll have a little wander around. That is
commentary bike, little two-stroke, and I believe the first people to use box section framing.
Oh, really?
And they make it very simple. It doesn't come any more simple than that, does it?
Well, no, it looks very elegant, to be honest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a lovely thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I did try to ask you earlier on about this Triumph up on the wall, Stuart. This has got some, what looks like extra coolers.
Yeah.
Are these oil coolers?
It is, but this is Percy Tate's factory. Do you know Percy Tate at all?
You've got me at a loss on a lot of this, and I'm going to come across as being very thick.
Percy Tate worked for Triumph, and it was from when he left school as a tester. And that's Percy on his bottom up there, going out the airport.
Oh, we'll get a picture of Percy on his backside then.
That's Percy there. That's Percy there. So Percy decided 500.
Airborne.
And so they developed this bike, special frame. The two tubes of paper underneath are the drawings of the frame from Reynolds. In the back I've got both the engine tuning sheets from Jakeman and Doug Helly, who tuned the engine. The oil coolers put in the mid-60s were for extra cooling, but they weren't. They were for weight distribution. The blocks of wood there is what they made them round. That's what they made the tanks round.
They're the plug.
And they beat them round and welded them. Very, very special engine inside. And the claim to fame to that bike as well, that he finished second to Agostini at the Belgium Grand Prix on it. So
that's a bit of a feather in your cap, isn't it? 52
horsepower, where most British bikes then were 50 horsepower. I know two's not much, but it's enough to pull away from somebody. But just fantastic bike.
What a great thing.
I bought that from a guy, Mick Hemmings, his wife. Mick, unfortunately Pastor Mick was a good motorcyclist, a production racer. Got lots of interesting things with it. I got Percy's wooden toolbox down there, which is ex-ammunition with Norton on it when he raced the Norton. Got a little blackboard at the back, was when he was doing jobs on the bike.
This is great stuff that goes with it,
and the red framed letter there from Percy saying that this is the bike that I finished second.
This one here, Stuart, what have we got?
That's a 1923 ladies $250 set. One owner from new.
Why ladies? Is that because it's step through?
Because you could step through, yeah. I'm not sure where your skirt went, it sucked it down the carburetor, but at least it put it on choke.
I wasn't going to ask. That means that all Honda Cubs are lady bikes.
Yeah.
We're not going into that.
It might have been your bloomers, I don't know, whatever it pulled down. But yeah, but an interesting little bike.
Yeah, absolutely
interesting
lovely.
Little bike.
So tell me about these behind me, Stuart.
Right, the little red bike there, 125 twin, disc valve twin, they changed the world of 125 racing.
Why?
Because everything else was an exceedingly slow single-cylinder two-stroke or an old four-stroke, and
Right.
this thing just was a rocket ship, capable of 180 mile an hour in a straight line.
Is that, would that
1978.
wow. Would that be akin to the, is it Clark? I don't know, the 256 cylinder Honda?
I suppose you could say yes. The difference from then was, well, you were flying on one of those.
Yeah.
But they changed it. The first 50 engines that they made as well, because MBA were a gun company, and I can't remember
Oh, like
the calling, but they made guns like BSA made guns.
well, I was going to say like BSA, yeah.
And the first 50 engines were made at Ferrari and have a Ferrari stamped on the cases. That's not one of them, but still an interesting.
Well, that'll
project.
make it,
Yeah.
you know, it's like some of those Harley Davidsons, they called them the V-Rod.
Yeah,
Bloody
yeah,
Porsche.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm just having a bit of a zoom out on this AJS. Gold paint, that seems a bit unusual. Stuart, there must be something a little bit special about that.
That's because it's magnesium and we don't want it to go rotten in the air. So basically, the cam box, the crankcases on this particular one is a 55, and the gearbox and the hubs are all magnesium. The hubs and the gearbox and the top bit I always paint with lanolin about once a year so that the magnesium doesn't go rotten.
Lanolin, sheep fat.
Yep.
Oh, bless you.
Perfect for magnesium. It just doesn't. It just soaks in, and it doesn't. Otherwise, they just disappear.
That's fantastic.
But the bike's all original except the fly screen, which should be flat with a little brass mesh on the top. And I'm looking around if anybody knows where there is one. So yeah, but it's a lovely, lovely bike. Everybody had. It was called a boy racer. So Aylwood, Surtees, you name it. Everybody started at a 7R.
Wow.
Everybody, yeah.
Okay. A lot of these things, it's my ignorance really, but when I was growing up, the two heroes were James Hunt and Barry Sheen.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the 70s, and they were playboys, weren't they?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
really did
absolutely.
enjoy playing up.
Yeah. Well, I'm recently here. Lord Escott has done some work around the circuit with me. We've done some various poles around the track that identify to 1 millimetre where a vehicle is. And when I met Lord Hesketh, we walked down to the bottom elbow on a cold wintry day, and he went, "Stuart?" I said, "Yes." He said, "This is where it all started." I said, "What was that then?" And he said, "In such and such date," he said, "I was here with James in a Surtees." He said, "and we were second, and it blew up." He said, "and I turned around to Bubbles and said, 'Fuck it, we are going Formula One.'" And I just loved it. I just loved it. And he, what a character, what a great bloke. He's given me his book, and I love the end bit. It says, "Never to be done ever again." And it won't be.
You can't go back, can you?
No, one man could not do that. But like he said, what fun we had doing it as well.
I think that
What a
life's
character.
journey, this is part of what I'm trying to get across on
Yeah.
videos now,
Yeah.
is that in actual fact, most of life is about the journey. It's not about the arrival. And I think too many people are getting too wrapped up in what people think, and I can't do this, and losing their sense of enjoyment, adventure.
Yeah.
No, I think that's, yeah. We try to get across here. I know just round the corner, Huggies on the Wednesdays do have the Old Farts Day. I have put a video up to that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that in a bit. A terrific thing for people's mental health. We just need to gossip.
Absolutely.
So we like that. Can we talk a bit about these leathers on the wall then, please, Stuart? These are the leathers of the gentlemen, I presume all gentlemen, but not necessarily, whom were the racing riders. And of course, every time they've left this race team, they're asked to sign up on these leathers and leave them here for perpetuity. Great thing with all the leathers that you've kept. Tell me about those.
Well, most riders will have 3 sets of leathers. So what we try to do, we always ask in the contract that a rider leaves as a set of leathers, whether he's been down the road in them like some have or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only person that I don't have is Scott Smart.
Okay.
And I think he gave his away to some women somewhere or whatever he were doing. There'll be some story with Scott, believe you me.
Okay.
But everybody else we have.
Can't beat a white clean surface, can you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody else we have, and it's just a nice memory to look and think, all right, you know. And there are a lot of good lads there that rode for us. That we started them off, and bump, they become superstars and Grand Prix.
Isn't it lovely
riders.
when you mentor people and you see them going on? Because you know it, don't you? You know right from the off, as soon as you meet them, I've got a chance with these people.
Yeah.
I think it is. When I used to run open mics some years ago, and I knew lots of people that were coming in, and you knew the ones that were going to do something.
Yeah.
They were committed.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. There's lots of people poncing about.
Yeah.
The thing about the leathers, though, motorbikes, when I'm looking around here, they're all beautiful and they've been put back to original, probably better than.
Yeah.
Well, that would be absolutely. You just wouldn't do that. With leather.
No, they are as whether you.
Most
of them, you'll see most of them are scuffed.
Well, they want to be. I see too many riders now, Stuart, and about on their bikes, and they're of an age that they can now afford it.
Yeah.
There's not a dead fly on their leather, and I find it. I find it a bit odd, boys and girls.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that. Now we're going to talk about, because there's a whole lot of Kawasaki's here, and I made a note about Kawasaki, so there's an awful lot of stuff to go through. Let me turn it round again. Stuart's going to tell me about these.